Hi, you are watching Image Preparation for Engraving series from imagemart.com. imagemart.com is the website that connects customers who need help with image editing with professional artists who will prepare your images for low and flat fee. We know that we are expert in image preparation for engraving. We would like to share that information with you. In this third video of this series, we will talk about images that should never be engraved. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but the idea is you found on the web a very beautiful photograph, or customer brought it to you, and then you put it into your engraving machine, engrave it, and you could barely see anything. You could barely distinguish any details. Why would that happen? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about images that I wouldn't say shouldn't be engraved, but the ones that require very extensive preparation before they can be engraved, or the ones where you should just ask customer to change their mind, or you should set their expectations, or somehow convince customer to either not use that image at all or use something else. So my number one in the rating of images that should really never be engraved is complex scenes of nature with a lot of grass, leaves, etc. So let's take a look. I prepared a couple of examples here. This is a beautiful photograph of a meadow with, sky and everything, but it looks beautiful because it has all the different colors. When you engrave, the colors will be gone, and the image will look approximately like this, or it will actually look worse. I can tell you what this image will look. Now, granted, I am not doing the brightness and adjustments and color balancing, but to show you what this image will look like when engraved, it will look approximately like this. And mind you, it will be on the stone, which in addition to this will also not be able to show every single detail. So you will have like gray area in front where you can barely distinguish anything, and something that looks like a skyline, and and some clouds above, which will also be like dirty clouds with not much detail. Why is that? Because, as I said, highly detailed scenes of nature do not look good when engraved on the stone. You should just get used to it. If you want to engrave the scene of nature on the stone, unfortunately, you need to get a sketch from your artist. Like they like engraving scenes of lake, deer, or something like that. If you take the photograph and try to engrave it, won't work. You need to get some sketch. Quite often it's highly stylized sketch, so to say. It's done by hand in different techniques, but the idea is you lose the details. Whenever you engrave the scenes of nature, you need to lose the details and do somewhat schematical drawing before you engrave it, right? So number two in my negative rating of images that are really hard to engrave are black furry animals. And top is, of course, black cows. So the stone is black, right? When we engrave, in order for us to create a black cow, we should barely hit the stone. So when this black cow is engraved, what you'll see on the stone is just a black blob. And the problem is sometimes customers actually do want to engrave their farm scenes with black cows. So what do? You can do it with very heavy editing. I mean, the silhouette of the cow need to be highlighted with some kind of white outline. The cow itself need to be like all of the features, like lines on the cow, like the whatever, I don't know, face, need to be highlighted, etc., etc. So black furry animals, be it cows, be it dogs, be it cats, they require quite a bit of preparation before they can be engraved to look good on the stone. But quite often you don't have choice. So, right, somebody wants to engrave the photograph of their dog, in which case, yeah, you need to edit it properly. And that's, by the way, what we do at ImageMart all the time. So another controversial image to engrave is the group photo. The problem with group photos, they take a lot of real estate horizontally. So naturally, when you fit them into any kind of stone, and typically group photos, by the way, also you don't crop them. I mean, it needs to be the entire kind of figure of a person. So once you placed the group photo on the stone, the real estate for each face will be actually pretty small. I mean, if you engrave this particular photograph that I'm showing right now, and it's probably, 20 inches wide, which is quite a bit, it will probably be only 10 inches tall. And out of those 10 inches, you'll only get probably 1 inch or 2 inches of real estate, height-wise, dedicated to each particular face. So when the face looks like this big on the stone, and stone does not support the same resolution, it will be very low detail and very poor look. What is my advice if customer brings you the group photo? Try to avoid it if you can. Try to convince the customer maybe not everybody in that photo actually belongs on the stone that you're engraving. If it is some kind of awards, some kind of group photo of colleagues, maybe, cut this group photo in half and create like 2-row group photo. This way, I mean, I can imagine in this particular photograph, I can cut out the right side, the girls on the right, and move them into the second row. And this way, we will arrange the real estate, so to say, of the stone better. Another, in general, problematic type of photograph that you should avoid engraving if you can is the photograph with not enough visual information. I mean, somebody brings you this group photo and it kind of looks okay-ish, but mind you, our eyes and our brain is very apt at enhancing the images. I mean, we kind of look at the person looks okay, but when you start engraving the person, you will recognize that the eyes are practically not there on the image. I mean, the eyes are practically not visible. And if you engrave it, it will look approximately like this on the stone, only worse. There are, of course, modern AI tools that allow you to enhance the appearance of the picture, which we also use in our imagemart.com service. Sometimes when we get very bad quality photographs, we apply AI tools before doing the manual editing. But even then, I mean, they can only do so much. In this particular case, you should probably, I don't know, explain to the customer, hey, the eyes are not there, the facial features are not there either. Can you get me a better photograph? And only if you are given the answer that no better photograph is available, I guess you go ahead with what you got. But in general, as I said, zoom into the image and try to understand that when you look at the image, the photograph, the bigger picture, our brains, our eyes deceive ourselves by telling us that it's a good quality, but quite often it's not. Another example, for example, the photographs where eyes are not visible. The eyes are the most expressive part of the human face. If somebody brings you the photograph where the eyes are completely covered, like with glasses, ask them whether that is something they really want, because maybe there's a way to find another photograph of this person where eyes are visible. And also, as we look at this photograph, another problem with this photograph is the strands of hair are not visible either. And you get that quite often on the photographs that are not correctly exposed. So you can see the outline of the hair, and you can definitely create that outline. I mean, you can create a halo around the hair when engraving so that you can see the shape, but there's no strands of hair. And when you engrave this, unless you extend the image by redrawing the strands of hair, it will be just big black blob on the stone. So that's it. I hope it's helpful. This was the third video in our series about what images should never be engraved on the stone. If you find this information useful, please like and subscribe. In the next video of this series, video number 4, we will talk about how you should not approach image preparation with paper paradigm. Thank you very much for watching.